Lafayette Township Board of Trustees and Fire District regular meeting to order. It's 7:03 PM. The notice requirements of Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code and the implementing rules adopted by the board pursuant thereto were complied with for the meeting. Roll call.
O'Neill here.
Warcola here.
Fullerton here. If we can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just a quick announcement, quite a few people here, and we'll be doing public participation like we always do. Last month I tried to do something a little bit different and try to do an open forum, but we have no minutes to approve because they're going to be close to impossible. Too many people were talking over each other, and it's going to be really hard to get that corrected. So we need to make sure if you want to address the board and the community, one person goes up to the podium and speaks, and that's the only person that speaks, so we can hear them and we can record it correctly. And of course, everyone will get their chance. So we have no minutes to approve. Hopefully they'll be done next month. Consent agenda. You guys had a chance to read all the reports?
I have.
Any questions, concerns, anything?
Nope.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'd second the motion.
He seconded it.
Yep, all right, I'll motion it. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, consent agenda approved. Executive session?
Yeah, I'd like to recess into a hopefully very brief executive session to start with. I know this is not usually do it this early in the meeting, but it is important this time. Roll call vote for an executive session.
You got to say the purpose.
Well, I was going to do that after the vote. Okay. The executive session pursuant to RC 122.22G4, compensation.
Okay. If we're gonna go in there, I'll just do a G3 pending legal and
Okay.
just get them real quick out of the way.
Okay.
All right, Fullerton,
O'Neill, yes.
Warcola, yes. Also invited into the meeting would be our law director and our fiscal officer.
7:06 PM. Let's make her quick.
Okay.
I think it has to do with equal compensation.
Okay, folks, we're back out of executive session. It's 7:36. No decisions were made inside the executive session. I considered that long, Marty considered that short. Any trustees want to bring anything up?
Yes, I do. This one is kind of painful, to be quite honest. This one's kind of painful. There was a special meeting held by the Board of Trustees for Lafayette Township on December 13th of 2021. In that special meeting, there was a motion made, and I want to read you from the minutes the motion that was made. Trustee Bowers made a motion, seconded by Trustee Warcola, to provide health, dental, vision, and life insurance coverage to full-time employees and elected officials in accordance to ORC 505.6, 505.602 for, and this is very important, this next line, for no deductibles for benefits for elected officials and to provide state continuance for outgoing elected officials. All voted in favor, motion passed. There's a problem with that. That was illegal. Can't do that. I didn't know at the time. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have studied the code when it came up. I didn't. And I will take full responsibility for that piece of it, for seconding the motion. I stumbled upon this when I was going through some insurance work, and I talked to Frank Harmon, our insurance guy down in Columbus, and I just happened to mention this, and he said, "What?" And he informed me that the bottom line is, in our township, all full-time employees have to have the exact same benefits as the elected officials. There can be no difference. The benefits aren't just the benefits they pay out, it's also the premiums. So the trustees and Laura, so the four of us, pay no premium since January 1st of 2021. 22, I'm sorry, thank you. 22. Our other full-time employees that had insurance did pay. And you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. After I talked to Frank, I talked to our legal counsel, and he went through and agreed. So I want to try to rectify this. I want to rectify this. I would like to make a motion that as of October 1st, we do
The month of October.
as of the month of October, the three trustees and the fiscal officer will be paying premiums for their insurance at the same rates that our other full-time employees are, and that they will repay the township for all the premiums that they were paid, that the township paid for that 22-month period where the township shouldn't have been paying it. I apologize to the residents. I'm very sorry. I wish I hadn't, but I did, and I was part of that three-member board that did approve that. And there's really nothing else I can say other than that. I offer you my sincerest apologies. It wasn't done with any malice. It was another benefit that was offered. It sounded nice. And that's about all I can say about that. I apologize. We will make this right.
I'll second your motion. I don't know if you're gonna do that or not.
No, go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm just, he motioned for it, so I'll second that to move to pay for the same premium rates as the rest of the employees and to pay back the 2022 and 23.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the right thing to do, so,
And I do want to make one, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no,
finish
no,
off.
I mean, you found the problem, we need to fix it, so it is what it is.
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I do want to mention one other thing. The two gentlemen to my left had absolutely nothing to do with that. It was not under their watch. It was under my watch. So if you want to hold anybody responsible, do not hold anything against them. That's on me, 150%. Okay.
All right, thanks, Marty. We'll go into the department reports, starting with fiscal. Laura?
I have the resolutions to accept the rates for 2024 for both the township and the fire district. And they will be with corrections because the certificate that Kristen sent over had some changes that needed to be made. There's some amounts that are wrong. And I did call her this morning and talk to her, and we listed them out. So I would ask that you approve these with the corrections that are listed. There's a motion that you guys have to read off. So that's the first one.
Did you read that? Just read this top piece, or is that the?
Yeah.
Resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
So somebody needs to make the motion to do that. And then
I'll
someone will
move,
second.
I'll move to approve that?
With the corrections.
With the corrections,
With the
yes.
corrections.
Yeah. I'll second that. All those in favor, aye.
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 May I ask a question? May I ask a question?
When we have public participation.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So the certificate that they sent, I just got it the other day, and I called Laura and I said, wow, that's not right. So if anyone's had seen the certified budget from the county, it's not correct. And, which is not a huge deal, because they will correct it, just like Laura had stated. I recall last year, Laura, it came to us, and we asked them to put a correction on that one as well last year, so.
You have to remember the budget that's done over the summertime, they have a lot of interns there. So I know a neighboring township had 5 copies of their budget, and they sent out the wrong one. So we just had our conversation this morning.
Do you have any more, anything else on fiscal?
I don't think so. So,
No?
No.
All right. Since we're on fiscal, though, there was some concerns. I've had some people asking, and I just want to stay in fiscal so I can keep Laura involved. There's been some rumors that Lafayette's in fiscal disaster, whatever words you want to use, and that's a complete false statement. I know for a fact Laura meets with Trustee O'Neill and Chief Kavanaugh on a weekly basis, going over numbers. And I want to say, off the top of my head, the money that they'll carry over for next year for fire is probably around 724,000-ish. And the township will be 785,000-ish. So, yeah, we're doing well as a township fiscally. So I did get quite a few phone calls this past week, so I wanted to address that. Chris, you got any comments on that? Because you have been working with Laura on a
Yeah.
regular basis, so.
Through 2022, we had revenues of 877,000 almost, and expenditures of 787, 788. So we had over $80,000 under what we brought in 22. Year to date this year, we have not spent more than we've brought in so far. Now, we've got 3 months to go, and we don't know exactly how much revenue we're going to bring in. But even if we go with what we've had on average for the last 3 months of the year, we will cut in a little bit, but I still expect to carry on right around what you mentioned, 750-ish, more or less.
More or less.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, Chris. Laura, you concur?
Yep.
You got any comments, anything like that? Okay, all right. Thank you, Laura. Service, Rick's not here, he's actually on vacation. Nothing new, everything's on his report, so. We don't need a service report. Fire, Chief Kavanaugh?
Good evening. How's everybody doing? So, we had 55 calls in the month of September. 4 were in Chatham Township, 1 was in Guilford Township, 43 in Lafayette Township, and 7 in the village of Chippewa Lake. 34 during the day and 21 in the evening. 78% were EMS calls, and the rest of them were fire calls and different other incidents. Our average turnout time is 1 minute and 11 seconds, so we're improving on that. That's pretty darn good. From 24 hours staffing, to getting out of bed, getting in the truck, and getting out the door, that's 1 minute and 11 seconds. Takes about 2 minutes to get turnout gear on, so that's pretty a good number. It takes about 5 minutes to get on scene, which is about 3 minutes below the national average, so it's really good stuff. We gave automatic aid to Guilford Township once, and we gave mutual aid to Chatham Township 4 times. Medina Country Club, Jim Wise Golf Academy donated workout equipment to our department, and this equipment will be vital to our health and fitness of our members. A special thanks to Assistant Chief Holzman for making this happen. A special thank you to the Lafayette Township Firefighters Association for putting on such a successful night at the races. Money raised from this event will enable us to purchase much needed equipment for our department. A special thank you to Steve Kyle, our association president, and Joe Fullerton for putting in so many hours preparing for this day, and all the volunteers who helped set up and work that event. Also, a big thank you to the community members who came out for the event, and sponsors who supported that night at the races, so thank you all. Education initiative, Captain Savetsky, Tara Powell, Lieutenant Hall, and Jessica White are doing well in their Fire Officer 2 course. This will be completed at the end of the month. Will Gross is taking our Fire Safety Inspector course. This will give us another inspector for the future for businesses. We trained in search and rescue, familiarity in trauma, hose line deployment, and fire tactics and burn injuries this past month, and we'll be working this week with Seville on some leadership development. 3 of our firefighters attended the Advanced Fire Operation class at Akron University. This was a 3-day course in small crew engine operations. This was at no cost to our department members and a very valuable skill gained. We've been notified of the approval of $20,000 from the Ambulance Retention Grant from the State of Ohio Division of EMS. We applied for a grant from TC Energy in the amount of $10,000 to purchase new gas detection equipment, which will be vital in the coming months of CO. So make sure you're checking your CO detectors and your smoke detectors. It's Fire Prevention Week next week. And we also applied for a safety intervention grant through the Bureau of Workmen's Comp in the amount of $40,000. This is a joint service department, fire department grant that will give us the ability to acquire lighter and more portable extrication equipment. And we'll also be applying for the Firefighter Exposure to Environmental Elements grant through BWC in the amount of $15,000. So we're hoping those come through. Department physical exams are scheduled for November 2nd and November 28th with MedPro Group. And requesting the board to approve the hiring of Lorenzo Valley. He's a firefighter 2 EMT, lives in Lodi, and will be an asset to our team. He was a student of mine at the Career Center. He's a great young gentleman, and I think he'd do really well for the department. And I'm also requesting the tanker be repaired. We need new valves for the pump. Total cost will be approximately $4,000 to replace faulty valves with labor included. Parts are about 12 weeks out from delivery. So I don't know if we need to make a motion for the approval, or do you guys need to do that for the hiring and?
Yeah.
Yep.
And just the last couple things. Next week is Fire Prevention Week, October 8th through October 14th. So again, check your smoke detectors, check your CO detectors, and if you have any questions. The other thing is there's a burn ban from October through November. You cannot burn from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So just remember that. Have those recreational fires, but have them after 6 p.m. and have marshmallows by you. Then we won't bother you. I might take a marshmallow though. Any questions from?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is it from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.?
So the fall months are dry, and they don't want you burning during those hours because of that issue, and the air quality alert. So the air gets thicker, and it's more of an EPA air quality issue as well. So, yeah. And I've got open burn stuff here. The last thing I was going to say is So this is an emergency alert system through the county EMA. It's kind of a big initiative we're pushing through the entire county fire chiefs right now. What you can do, I'm gonna pass these out, or if you wanna take one later, you can text this number here, 69310, and type in Lafayette, or if you live in Gloria Glens or any of those areas, you can type in multiple ones, and you'll get alerts. So what these do is like a county alert, like recently the 911 system went down for the entire county. And I was actually sitting right next to the fire chief from Seville. And I signed up for this, but he did not. And I got the message probably 10 minutes or 15 minutes before he ever got a message. I said, hey, 911's down. And he's like, what? And he never got the message. So it's something that we don't have what's called reverse 911 anymore. So if there's an emergency or some sort of disaster or some sort of issue in the area or your street or area, then this text alert or signing up on this county alert system down here will help you get those messages. The sirens are also a thing that we could utilize, but sirens are only for outdoor use essentially. So if you're in your basement or in your home watching TV, you're not going to hear those sirens. So this is for weather, emergency. Recently we went mutual aid to Fox Meadows for a structure fire, and it was chlorine gas that was going to be a problem. They weren't able to get anything out except for by this. So alerting the neighborhood and the area this is vital for that. So I'd like everybody to take one of these and consider just signing up. It doesn't cost you anything to get the text message. It's something that's important to me that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of what's happening in the county. I mean, the 911 thing is a good example of that. When that 911 system goes down, you don't know that unless you are on the system. You might get it on Facebook or something like that, but this is a good way to do that. So please, again, I'll put them over here or something if you want to, or I'll put them over there so when you walk out tonight, you can grab one of these, okay? It's very important to me. I want to make sure you guys are informed and aware if something does happen in the area, okay?
And Chief, if we do run out of those cards, that information is now on the website as well, the Lafayette Township's website. So you can get onto it there. We're trying to add more and more stuff on there all the time.
That's awesome. Hey, Chief, stay right up there, because we'll make those motions, Chris will, but
Yes, sir.
I have a question about that tanker. It's like $8,000 in the last 3 months.
Yes, it's old. It's 32 years old, and these valves it's just an old pump. It has wear and tear on it, and unfortunately, that's where we're at with it. It's the valves are leaking, and to get it in service and to keep it in service, we've got to do this maintenance, unfortunately.
Yeah, because we did springs that were probably a little under
Yeah, the leaf
$4,000.
springs were, exactly, so yeah, the tanker is an expensive, as you know, if you get an older car, the longer you keep it, the harder it gets to stay in service, so.
But we have to have a tanker.
Yes, we don't have all hydrogen areas yet, so I believe it's necessary to keep a tanker.
Chris?
I would agree. I would make a motion to approve the $4,000 to replace the valves on the tanker.
Is 4,000, you said around 4,000?
So it's like 3,600 is
all
what
right.
we got quoted, 3,700, so it's
So that'll
gonna be
cover it.
under 4,000,
Okay, all
hopefully,
right.
is what I'm expecting, but
Sorry, Chris.
I made the motion to approve the $4,000.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right. And then new employee,
I would also like to make the motion to hire Lorenzo Valley as a firefighter 2 EMT for the fire district.
I'll second that.
all those in favor, aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay. Swear him in next month?
yes, sir, that would be fine, yep. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief.
All right,
Thank you, Chief.
Yep, I'll put these over
Good
here
report.
before I forget, I'm gonna put them over there now.
Have those, Chief?
Oh, sure. All right, I'll just give him Brian a second. Police, anything to add to your report, or everything's on it?
Thank you, sir, I have nothing to report.
All right, thank you. Alice, zoning, anything to add? That's
Other
not on
than
your
my
report?
report, I did attend the grand opening ribbon cutting of the Jim Weiss Golf Academy that was Saturday. The facility is quite attractive. It's very well thought out. The landscaping was great. And there were quite a few people there. So it's a good asset to the township and to the country club.
Looks nice from the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Looks very nice. All right, thank you, Alice. Before we start public participation, you want to just let the folks know if they want to talk about the...
Yeah, if anyone's here to talk about the tech park zoning changes, you're more than welcome to speak. But we really can't comment on that up here tonight. The more appropriate place would be at the hearing scheduled for this Thursday. We can comment on it then and we'll probably be voting on it, but you're more than welcome to speak while you're here if you want. We just won't be responding to it.
So that public hearing, just to be clear, is October 5th, this Thursday at 6 o'clock here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll do this after public participation, I guess. All right, public participation. Anyone who want to go to the podium and share your thoughts? Yeah. If you could just state your name and so we have it for the record.
Rob Custis, I live at 5910 Wedgewood Road, right across the street here. I am going to speak about the Innovation Park. I'm glad to see so many people came out tonight. There have been some proposed changes to the zoning codes. I want to also thank our fiscal officer. She was very helpful in providing me with timely response to my records requests. And I'd like to thank each of the trustees. I did have conversations with each of you this week, and I appreciate the time that you took to discuss my concerns. As I said, there's going to be another meeting this Thursday, so I'm just going to be brief. But I'm hoping that even people that aren't here tonight might see this on the internet out for Thursday's meeting too. This is about, you know, the promises that were made, and I think that's what Marty referred to at the last meeting. To the residents, and this goes back to 2004. So for anybody that wasn't here back then, the county commissioners came to the township and they wanted to create this innovation park on county property. We were very skeptical, and they assured us that it would not be an industrial park. They said it would be the home of the University of Akron campus, and then there would be other office-type buildings. Mr. Hambley was there. He was a commissioner then, as he is now. He said that he had businesses lined up that were ready to move in. There was going to be a call center and corporate headquarters for some major corporation. We never did hear who that was. Ultimately, it never came to be. There were public meetings that we all attended. I see many of the same people here today that were there 20 years ago. It was attended by the commissioners and by the trustees that were on the then. The zoning commission people were there. There were reps from the University of Akron, and most importantly, the residents. And at these meetings, we ended up coming up with some really good codes for the zoning of that section, and they call it Section 307. It was 24 pages, so it was pretty thorough. And this was the assurances, or like Marty said, the promises that they made to us residents that it would not be an industrial park. So they built the road, they built the college. Some years later, I was at another township meeting, and the commissioner at that time, Mr. Friedrich, and members of the Port Authority came to the township and asked again for changes to the codes. Apparently they were having problems finding people that wanted to move in there. I don't know what the problem is, but at that time, the trustees stood firm. There were no changes made. January of 2015, the codes were changed. They reduced the Section 307 from 24 pages to 4 pages. All the hard work that we put into putting all those assurances down on paper were gone. So today, we're down to 4 pages, and now they want to make additional changes. And in my opinion, that would change it from innovation park to an industrial park. Some of the changes that would cause, most likely to cause the unintended consequences, would be to permit multiple buildings on one parcel, permit outdoor storage of raw materials and equipment, remove the height limits of structures, and then ultimately to delete the section for development controls, section 307.1. That section says, in quotes, development controls that will minimize offensive noise, vibration, smoke, odors, glare, and other objectionable influences and hazards. You want to eliminate that. I don't know why anybody would want to remove that. One parcel was just sold on September 6th to a pools and patio company that mixes concrete and supposedly has a fleet of 9 trucks. There's the need, obviously, for the outdoor storage of raw materials. All you have to do is take a ride by Smith Road. You can see what it's like to have a concrete plant. Smith Road, you see the dust in the air, you see the dust on the roadways. It creates a lot of sediment and noise. And it would also be an impact on our service department because that dust and debris is going to end up in the roads. It's going to end up in the storm sewers. Our storm sewers they drain to, out to the fresh water. They're not city storm drains. And location. They want to build it right next to this beautiful fire station. It'll have an impact on our fire department, on the employees here, and also on our facilities and equipment here. And this is not what we were promised. There's also a plan for multiple buildings. I attended a zoning meeting where the developer and his attorney were here, and they showed that they wanted to develop the parcel across the street, whichever way that is, and on Technology Lane, and they wanted to put several buildings, maybe up to 5 buildings on the one parcel, and then rent it out to various corporations, companies in there. They're hoping to attract wholesale distributors that would have like an office and warehouse where they do shipping and receiving. And again, there's going to be an increase in truck traffic and noise, and ultimately, that would go hand in hand with the outdoor storage of materials. The other problem is that each of these businesses would have to be approved by the zoning, so again, you're going to put more burdens on our system here. And then if they're found to not be in compliance, I don't know how we go about getting evictions out of there. If somebody moves in, you're now trying to evict a business out, it's going to be difficult. And again, it's not what we were promised. We were promised office buildings. So I know we will have additional discussions on Thursday, but I'm concerned about the unintended consequences that these may lead to. So I'll conclude with these definitions. So the definition of innovation is a new method, idea, or product. The definition of industrial is economic activity concerned with the processing of raw materials and the manufacture of goods. We were promised an innovation park, not an industrial park. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. We got good practice for Thursday. All right, anybody else, public participation, podium?
I'm not gonna come up
Yeah.
with my,
Yep, your legs.
but
Yep.
I got a strong voice. Marty,
You need to state your name first.
David Hollish, Carlton Road.
Thank you.
This insurance that was illegal done by past regime.
Well, I was part of that
Well, okay,
regime.
yes, okay, so you were part of the past regime. So the full-time employees that were benefiting by this to date, which would be, let's say, the 3 trustees, you're gonna repay that money.
Yes.
Okay, what about the past trustees when they made it illegal?
They never participated. They never had
Okay.
any. There was, the only people who had financial gain out of that are the people sitting at this table now. The
Okay.
past trustees, that was passed in December of '21. That was at the end of the term.
Okay.
So they had no financial
Okay.
gain out of that at all.
That was one or two questions. The other thing is, I don't know, this is gonna be a touchy situation, okay? There were some comments made on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, but my phone starts ringing off the hook. What special treatment did you give Dick and Diane Polker on a cleanup of their yard? This is the person that put this in, alluded that you guys gave them special treatment.
Dick and Diane Polker,
Well, their name was highlighted because I physically saw it.
we never did anything on their property.
Okay. Does anyone want to make a comment on that? And maybe not on the board?
You want me to correct your statement?
Well, would you?
Yeah,
I didn't read it, but
The comment that was made which has been corrected, was that potentially Robert Palker got special treatment because Dick and Diane supported Ty and Chris. That was what it was.
Okay.
Not that
Well, what,
Richard or.
okay, now, part two.
Well,
Okay, hold on, we gotta break this up, yeah.
No, no, we're not gonna do that. That's what happened last meeting. So
Okay,
whoever's talking's at the podium, I get your legs are
okay.
little, anything else for you?
Other than that, no, I just
David?
wanted to know what the
Yeah.
special treatment was,
Yeah,
period.
yeah, okay. Anybody else?
No, if you.
No, you're up, Arnie, go ahead.
So since you guys mentioned the financial reports, I think you guys mentioned getting a revised certificate of resources from the county auditor's office.
Laura's talked with them already, yeah.
Did they provide a revised one, or?
No, I talked to Kristen this morning.
Gotcha, okay. So they're in the process of doing that?
Yes.
All right, well, then I'll table it, because I was under the impression that you guys mentioned having a new one.
You,
All right, I'll leave it be then.
nope, and we won't know when it comes in until we get it, so. All right.
Just a
Oh,
question. Do I have to get up there?
yeah, sorry.
My name's Barb Petrak, and I had a question regarding the insurance.
Mhm.
Was it just the premiums that were paid by the taxpayers, or was there a deductible paid?
No,
Deductible for your medical
the
insurance?
deductible for the medical insurance is paid for by the taxpayers and has been for the last, where's Karen at? How far back, Karen? I know, I've been a trustee for 7 years, and it's always been paid by the taxpayers. I don't know how far back that goes. You had mentioned it goes back quite a ways.
Well, I remember that, when it changed, but I don't remember when.
Okay. Well, I know it was at least 7 years ago, because when I came in, that's the way it was.
Yeah, my concern isn't exactly how long it's been happening, just that so that's gonna continue?
Yes.
Yeah, there's ORC code that talks about that with townships, and I did reach out to quite a few townships just in Medina County, and everyone has different insurances, but they are very, very close to the same, and it's the same for all townships in the state of Ohio.
So, what?
It's just part of your compensation package. I don't know if that helps you, but,
No, it doesn't.
no, okay, well, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess the way I'm kind of looking at it is, most people's employers do not pay their medical insurance deductible.
You're right, they don't.
And it seems like, you folks are public servants, to serve, and if it's part of your compensation package, then why not put that in your salary?
Laura, do you want to comment to that one?
I don't know that we can. I think that's
You
a Bill
can't.
question.
Well, I guess.
No,
most-
let me address that if I could. That's, you can't put it in the trustee's salary, because the trustee's salary is based upon
Certificate.
based on your operating budget.
Okay.
So if our operating budget is, $10,000, we're only allowed to have I'm making all this up, a $50 salary. If our operating budget is $10 million, we're allowed to have a $50,000 salary.
Right.
So, and you can't go outside those limits. That's dictated by state. Did I say that right, Bill?
Right.
Okay, I guess.
That one right.
I guess where I have a problem is most people don't get their medical
Deductible
not the
paid.
premium, yeah, the deductible.
Right, right.
So I guess I think, why should you guys get your deductibles paid?
Because that's been rolled in as part of the overall compensation package, not just for the trustees, but for all full-time employees as well. And if you look at it.
Now, if,
Go
yeah,
ahead. If you look at it, and I know there's been, and I've got some numbers here, and I'll go over these as well.
okay,
There's been a lot of comments made about, well, there's, you have an $8,000 deductible, so you're making $8,000 more. Well, that's not true. The average reimbursed deductible is around, it's different for different people, and I can't, HIPAA says I can't tell who's where.
Right, I understand.
But it's roughly about $1,500 per employee, if you look at the total amount we paid out and the total number of employees. So that works out to, what, maybe $150 a month.
Yeah,
So it isn't like it's a bazillion dollars, but it is still money. It
I
is still money.
understand that.
But
Yeah.
it's all set up and structured as part of an overall compensation. Go
I
ahead.
missed the button. Sorry.
But remember, the other part of that also is, if we were to say as the trustees, you know what, we'll pay our own deductible, then I've got to go to all my full-time employees and say, you have to pay your deductible as well.
So
You
what's
can't
wrong
do
with
anything
that?
different.
Yeah, I understand that. I just.
Because it's part of the compensation package we have to try to get good people here.
So-
We don't pay top dollar as a township employer.
I understand that. I just, it rubs me the wrong way.
I know,
that-
I understand, and it does a lot of
I don't know
people.
anybody who's had their deductible paid by their employer.
Well, and it
And
does a lot of
I think as a
people.
public servant, maybe you should say, hey, folks, we're gonna forfeit this benefit because we're servants, not here to be served.
All right, but our road crew is not servants, they're here as employees. And if we forfeit it, so do they.
And I
And I'm
see
not
that-
willing to do
that's-
that.
Why is that a problem? Everybody in this room probably pays their own medical deductible.
I would guess, if you looked at the average, excuse me, I would guess if you look at the average, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, we can do the research. But the last time we did, what we pay our road people is considerably less than what they could make anywhere else. So part of the reason they're here is because part of their benefit is the extra they get from the insurance. So you could easily say, you pay your own deductible, but now we're gonna pay you an extra $300 a month. Would that be better? The township will be worse off for doing something like that.
I don't know how to work it out. I just think that it looks like we're serving you to pay your medical deductible. Instead of being here to serve us, like I said,
We-
you know. I just.
Here's my pay stub for the township.
How much you make, Bernie?
I gross every month $1,134.
Okay.
That's
So-
my total paycheck.
Okay.
With my deductible being paid, add about another $150 to that a month.
Okay.
It's not a tremendous amount of money. Now, the other side to that is, we work very, very hard trying to reduce costs. And I want to give you side A with side B, because I think side B is important too. 2 years ago, the board gave me the authority to talk to our insurance broker to find out a way to get our insurance rates cheaper and not cheapen the benefits. So I sat down with Frank Harmon, our insurance guy, and we went through a whole lot of scenarios. And what we came up with was, you know what? If we take our deductible and crank it up, our premiums are gonna drop significantly, and we can save some money. Okay? So, in 2022, we went from a 2,800 individual, 5,600 family, to a 4,000, 8,000 individual family for a deductible. At the end of the day, that saved us $21,162.60 by changing that deductible. So we saved the township a little over $21,000.
And they would have, okay,
And it didn't cost the township a penny more for deductible, because the deductibles that the township reimbursed were still well below that original at $2,800, $5,600. So we got a much lower premium. This year, and some of this is projection, because we're not to the end of the year yet, but this year, the projection is, we're gonna save $20,321.64. So that's a 2-year savings, please, That's a 2-year savings of over $40,000, which isn't too bad. Which isn't too bad. Our premiums, because there has been comments made that we have this huge premium plan. Let me give you an idea on our premiums. In 2021, I'm just going to do it for an individual, but I have it for family and for individual plus one. In 2021, our premium for an individual was $595.97. Had we not changed our deductible, our premium would have, oh, and Sherry, I'll give you all this, you don't have to type all this down. Now she won't hit me. Our premium, if we had not changed our deductible, would have gone to $643. That's what our premium would have done. Changing our deductible dropped it from I'll round it off, from $596 to $551.
Okay,
In 20
the premium went down.
It
when
went
the
down
deductible
because we
went up.
increased our deductible. In 2023, we kept that same higher deductible, and our premium, it did go up year to year. It went up to $600, $599.84. What's interesting is that our premium in 2023 is rounded off, say $600. Our premium in 2021 was $596. So any of you who have a business, when was the last time you could say that your insurance from 2 years ago to this year for a premium went up by $4? And you didn't cut any of the benefits out, and you didn't cost the company any more money. I would say this was a pretty good deal. Now, we're also looking at what we can do for next year. And there may be a way to increase our deductible again to save even more money. Now, the downside to this, there's always a downside. God forbid if someone would get something horrible, that we could run up to that level. But you would have to take quite a bit to get to there at this point with what we've already banked in and saved. Insurance is a gamble. You gamble at what you want to take for deductible, just like your car insurance. Do you have a $100 deductible or a $1,000 deductible? Where do you feel comfortable? This is the number based on several years' worth of, when Frank and I went through all the numbers, several years' worth of what our actual payouts were from the deductible side, what we felt safe at. And so far to date, I don't like to pat myself on the back, but I think we hit a home run on this. We will save, if this trend continues through the last 4 months of this year, 3.5 months, we're gonna save over $40,000 in 2 years, which more than makes up for all of the deductible that the township paid.
So what is the deductible for the insurance?
The deductible for the insurance now is $4,000 for an individual, $8,000 for a family. And this year's, let me go through that too, I think that'll be helpful as well.
I'll never remember it.
Well, that's okay. This year, or I'm sorry, in 2021, we paid a total of $12,200, well, I'm gonna round the numbers off, of $12,300 in deductibles. That's what the township reimbursed the employees for, including the trustees. All right, in '22, that went up a little bit, it went up to $14,600. The projection this year is that it's gonna drop off a little bit, it's gonna go down to about $12,700. Now again, this last one is a projection based on using the first 8 months of the year and then factoring it up for the next 4. But we're saving good money every year. And that's why when I hear fiscally irresponsible, it kind of bothers me. It really bothers me. This board works very hard to try to save money at every turn we can. And are we always successful? No. Do we make mistakes? Yes. But you learn from your mistakes and you go forward. And that's how you grow. Every board that has ever sat here has made their share of mistakes. The last board I sat on here made their share of mistakes. And there's not a member of that board could deny there weren't mistakes made. But you learn and you grow and you get stronger. And that's what this board has done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I get a little passionate about that, but it was,
Yeah, and I lose my thoughts a lot. So nobody would be willing to forfeit their medical deductible
No,
being paid.
no, because if we forfeit it, we have to forfeit it for all of our
Yeah, I
employees.
understand that.
And no, I'm not willing to do that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So I don't know anybody whose employer pays their deductible.
I do.
Okay, that's good.
Company
There's
I
one.
retired from, they pay the deductible.
There's one.
Yeah, and there's not a lot.
Okay,
There are
two.
some, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
It's
There's
a
two.
benefit.
Okay, now, don't compare apples to oranges. Because again, so we won't pay any deductibles, but we're gonna take all of our employees and give each a raise that'll be more than what that deductible was. Because if you don't pay people well enough, they're not gonna stay there.
Right.
Any people who have businesses, if you don't pay your people well, and you don't take care of them financially, what do?
Find somebody else.
You've got every building in the country has a help wanted sign in it. And they will go to where they can get the best deal.
I gotta take a
It
seat.
isn't always, okay, it isn't always just the salary, it's the benefits that come in as well. Other places offer better vacation plans. They offer more sick days. I had one of the county employees I was talking to about this, she said, you know, I don't know why, but I get 15 sick days a year and I can bank them all and, all right, so different people do different things. Companies I've worked at in the past, you get 5 sick days a year. If you don't use them, you lose them. You don't get 15. So everybody does something different. You've got to sculpt your total compensation package to attract people that are going to provide for you. We've got a service crew that in the wintertime, and I apologize to anybody from the state and the county, but if you drive through our township in the winter, you know which roads are the township roads. And you know which ones aren't. Because the township roads are bare. The county and state roads, a little bit rougher. Our service crew does a phenomenal job. I would put them up against anybody, anywhere, anytime. But to get good people, you have to take care of them. Okay? Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. You gave me a chance to talk about all these numbers I put together. I didn't think I was going to get that
Well, you
opportunity.
were prepared, right?
Well, I didn't think I was going to get the chance, so thank you.
Marty, I have 2 questions. Do you want me up there?
Please.
So, if I heard you correctly,
Name for the,
sorry, Justin Paroli,
Yep.
Birchwood Drive.
yep.
If I heard you correctly, the insurance,
Mm-hmm.
the individual premium is 4 something a month, family 6 something a month.
No. No, you did not hear me correctly.
Okay,
Would you like me to repeat?
please.
All right, the individual premium is, I'll round a little bit. It's $600. It's $599.84. The family premium is $1,851.71.
Okay,
And the your plus one, so if just like husband and wife and no kids, there's one person, it's $1,318.45. $1,318.45. So it's between the two.
oh, I'm sorry, what was the family one?
Family one was $600, $1,300, $1,850.
Gotcha, okay.
Rounded off.
So, yeah, all right, so that makes more sense why we're spending a little over $10,000 a month for 7 employees.
We
The
have-
4 of you and the 3 road people.
Right, we have, it's here.
Yes, it's 7.
Yeah, we have 3 people on family, 3 people on the plus one, and 1 person on individual.
Right, but those 7
Yeah.
policies cost a little over $10,000 a month.
Okay, that's one number I don't have on here, so I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I was just trying to figure out where
Okay.
the premium amounts that you were
Yeah.
reading with 7 people added up to that.
Well, the premiums are just the premiums that came off the sheet, off the
Right.
insurance sheet. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then the second question that I would have is clarification to something that you said. Because I do think you accurately stated that you cannot offer better health plans to the board than you offer to your employees. But I am not aware of anything that legally obligates the trustees to accept the plan in order for the employees to have it.
ORC, if you go back and read it, Justin, I wasn't aware of any of this either. I was educated on it by Frank and by Bill.
Well,
If you go back and look at that ORC code reference, you have to offer the same plan.
Right, and
You
again,
can't
you use
offer
the
anything
word
different.
offer, which I don't disagree with. What I'm saying is there is nothing that legally obligates the four of you to accept taxpayer-funded health care in order for the employees that are actually full-time in the township in order for them to have it. Bill, I would welcome you to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that I am.
No, I think they're saying two separate things.
Right, right.
You've got to offer it.
The offer has to be the
You can
same for the
just-
both, but
yeah.
the four of you could absolutely decline it so that the taxpayers didn't have to fund your health care because none of you are full-time employees.
You are correct.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
All right, anybody else want to stand at the podium? Oh,
No.
yep.
Sorry guys, I gotta belabor this just a little bit more. So,
Which one are you belaboring?
the health insurance.
Oh, damn.
Sorry, this gives me
Name for
another
the record.
opportunity, Marty. This is Nick Kittle, 5488 Columbia Road. So, with a $4,000 deductible, 8,000 family, it sounds like a high deductible health plan. There are several, and then you said that the budget is, it's, in the past has been around $12,000 or $14,000 to pay towards a deductibles, is that?
Roughly, yeah.
So how many employees is that going to?
Total 7.
7, so that's about $2,000 a person. So I think a good solution, or a possible solution, Marty, I think you said you were gonna meet with the insurance guy and negotiate, would be to, if it's a high deductible health plan, you have an option to have an HSA account. With the HSA account, an employer, it is very common for an employer to make a contribution to the HSA account. So if you have, if you're spending $2,000 per employee, typically on health insurance, some, like you said, some might be more, some might be less. You could have, as an employer can contribute, like, say, $100 a month to an HSA, that would go towards the deductible. The thing that I don't like to see, and I think with this lady who's
Young lady.
asking, sorry, young lady who's asking, is a deductible is in place, or a deductible is a way to deter people from going to the doctor for every hangnail and splinter, and like things that don't necessarily need medical attention. So that's, I agree with her, I do have a bit of an issue. I understand it's been in place for several years, but I do have an issue with you guys not paying any deductible. I think it should be set up where you have an HSA, the county, or sorry, the township contributes part of that deductible into an HSA, and then anything above that, the employee should have to pay.
Thank you, Nick.
Do you need to say anything else about that, or you guys got that covered? That other thing? No, I was gonna bring that up under old business, and you don't even know to stick around if you don't. Okay.
Michelle Sislo, Wedgewood Road, right across the street. I just wanted to revisit the and it was brought to my attention when Robert mentioned the lot behind us was sold on September 6th. Is that correct? And it's the company that wants to use it for, like a concrete plant. Confusing me is how or why that company would purchase the land with the zoning the way it is now. Nothing has been changed, so wanting to do with that lot the way things stand now. Am I correct?
You are correct.
So why would they buy that land knowing that they can't do that? Did they have a strong indication that it was going to be changed? Or were they hoping it was going to be changed? Or, you know, it's just, that's confusing me, and it's a little disturbing to me. That's all.
That's a good question, though. That really is, that's a heck of a gamble.
Yes, it is.
Chase Burmeister, 6310 Lafayette Township. In regards to the question of the debt, lady had just asked. I was actually in the meeting where our zoning inspector let the zoning commission know that they had given the verbal okay to Ohio Pools and Spas. In the zoning meeting in which they pitched their zoning changes to the township in order to purchase the land and develop the land. And in their mind, they had the verbal okay, they were gonna get it changed. Probably not the best business decision on their part. If that helps you any, that's my recollection of it, right? But it's not really YouTubeable, I guess, because of the, well, actually, that was a trustee meeting, I think, wasn't it? No, the one where Ellis, oh, that was just a zoning meeting.
I wasn't at that.
It may be in the minutes though, but it's definitely how it went down. So then, my second question actually is for you, Alice. So, then this maybe goes for a broad township, but if I sit down with a township employee and I have a conversation with that township employee in an office owned by the township, is that considered public information? Bill, I guess it'd be a good question
No,
for
not,
you.
it's just an oral conversation, no. It's not
Yeah.
public record.
Okay. And again, it's not that you may have spoke out of line, Alice, but I got a couple folks getting a hold of me wondering if I'm interested in selling my property that a company that I'm affiliated with bought. And it kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, okay, interesting, you know. And then the gal I spoke with Friday afternoon mentioned that she had to sit down with you in which you told her that there was commercial property that was purchased that wouldn't be able to be used as the purchasers intended, and therefore it would probably be up for sale. Again, that might not mean much to a lot of people, but it kind of confused me because you and I had a very long sit down in which I discussed some plans and some thoughts with you that were just generic and kind of broad, and I don't know where you got that assumption that I bought property in which I'm unable to use, and why you would make that statement. I just would like to ask if you had any kind of, had
I
anything
don't
to say.
remember making a statement in that nature.
Okay,
We
Brooke
had a
Bell, she
long
works for,
talk,
okay.
and you had all kinds of ideas, but what you do is your business. I can't tell you, or tell you it's gonna be up for sale, and I don't particularly think I ever told anybody it was up for sale. I don't remember, who's this other person I supposedly
Her
talked to?
name was Brooke Bell. She worked for, was it EXP? So-
Oh, that's a realtor,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah, tell and pray.
Well, that's a realtor, and they
But
always.
why were you under that assumption that I was willing to sell?
I
sell
am
property?
not under the assumption you're willing to do anything over there, because it changes every 5 minutes, but, she called and wanted to know if the land was up for sale, and I said, I don't know, it's there.
That's, okay.
I heard something, but I don't, that's just, I don't know.
It's not, I mean, anything's for sale.
I don't know.
Again, that's why I just was kind of curious, because, okay, that's fair. I kind of figured you'd have maybe a little bit more to say about it, but if,
Realtors call all the time, they wanna know if the property's up for sale, if it is, it's fine, you know. I
Okay.
can't tell you whether it's gonna be up for sale or not.
that's cool, all right.
So-
And then real quick, Marty, so near and dear to your heart, this Innovation Park. You mentioned it at the last meeting, and I was just kind of curious, with this being so close to home, in your words, did you happen to attend any of the zoning commission meetings in which they discussed the new literature that was going to be proposed in the new Innovation Park District?
No, I did not.
Okay, you didn't hit any of those. There were several work sessions in which they talked
No.
about it, also several meetings in which they
No, I
focused
did not.
very heavily on that.
Nope, I did not.
Interesting, okay.
Why is it interesting?
Well, just because at the last meeting, you specified greatly before, and I forget what the topic was, it was obviously on the Innovation Park, that you worked very hard with the folks of the township to solidify a good plan that was healthy for the community. And that was my interpretation of what
No.
you said, no?
No, what I believe what I said, and if I didn't say it correctly, I apologize. I said in the meetings, however many years it was ago, 20 years ago, and I listened to the promises that were made that it wouldn't be an industrial area, it'd be a technology area. I listened to the residents around, that lived right around it, say, we don't want to see big lights all over the place, trucks running around all the time. We want this to stay rural. And the changes that were being proposed, when I saw the changes that were being proposed, well, I can't comment on those, but I think everybody kind of knows how I feel about those.
Okay.
But no, I was not part of the process that made all those changes.
Yeah.
I was a resident at the time, but I was kind of a resident from a distance away watching.
I mean,
was-
right now, though, the
No.
changes that were just made,
No.
Marty.
I
Yeah, that's what I
nothing
was
to do
talking
with
about.
those.
I was-
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, I mean, like, just the last 2 months.
No.
When they made all the talk and like,
No.
could he really use some beneficial influence, maybe? You know what I mean? Because it's important. The township really matters.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
And I just feel that, I think in the support of some of the residents, and I can only say this from experience, because, and again, people may remember that my wife and I were very against the Dollar General, and that was very misconstrued. It was misinterpreted. There was a lot of issues that you guys overlooked in the process. It was just very simple things, right? Very simple things. But in my mind, they matter, right? Because that's why we have groundwork for the township, right? The codes and all that, and all those things are very important. So in my mind, every little piece of the puzzle is important. So if we leave this out or we leave that out, but oh, it's okay, that just, my brain can't calculate that, right? So that was my pressure to you guys, was we need to do things by the book, right? We should do things right, make it fair for everybody. And that's why it surprises me then, Marty, because I feel that given how that played out with the recent changes that went to the CPC, it would have been a much cleaner version. I won't be here Thursday. That's kind of why I was kind of curious, because I'm not sure how this will all play out, but I just feel that I felt as a township member, it was important for me to be there, and I was there. So that was all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Public participation. All right. All right, correspondence. Chris, you got anything?
I do not.
Marty?
No, sir.
Laura?
Yes, I have from the Medina County Engineer, the winter season salt price, and it's just letting you know that it is $54.03 per ton. And that is all I have.
Can I keep that?
Okay.
Thank you.
Don't lose it.
All right, new business, before I jump in front of the snow. Yeah, I know, I keep this wad of paper. We just got this late, didn't even make the agenda, and I gotta be honest with you, not that I want another meeting this month, but I wanna do some more investigating on this in Otarma Insurance. It's our risk insurance for our buildings and property and vehicles and, not sure.
I haven't reviewed it yet either.
Well, I mean, they gave us no time to do it.
Well, no, I know
It came
that.
today and it's due on what?
It's due on the
19th.
21st, I know, and that really makes me mad.
I mean, can't,
Could see.
you tell them you're not gonna get it until after the next meeting? Get tough.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Well, Laura, fight for it. Next
Okay.
meeting's when? November what? Something,
First Monday of November.
first Monday. Let's just argue it out, the 6th.
Okay.
She can't wait till the 6th, and we'll have to have a special meeting to approve our insurance, but we just got it today.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
ridiculous.
Not right. That's
All
not
right.
right.
I didn't want to cut in front of you, but.
That's okay, you cut away. Okay, couple new things. Senior snowplow program. For those of you who've been in the township for a while, you're familiar with the program. It is, you need to sign up for it every year if you want to be a participant in it. The information is all on the website. There are requirements for the program based on income and on need. It is not a commercial plow program that'll come and plow your driveway out every time it snows. There's very specific requirements. There has to be an emergency need. It has to be only after so much snow, and it's only after the township roads have been cleared by the township crews. But we typically get, how many people do we have last year, Ty?
10-ish.
Okay. Maybe half dozen to a dozen people. For those that need it, it's a good program. It's a very good program. I would encourage you, if you're interested at all, go on the website, take a look at it. If you think that you meet the requirements, give Sherry a call, and she will get you set up with that. Okay? Okay, EMA Advisory Board Representative. All right, this is for you two. If you remember, a couple meetings ago, we passed a resolution that re-outlined how the EMA board was gonna be established.
Yep.
All right. To pick members from the township, there's an advisory board. The advisory board consists of a representative from every political subdivision, which means a representative from each of the townships. So one of the 3 trustees needs to be that person. They'll go there, they'll vote on which 2 trustees want to sit and be on the board. Past years, we would do that at the association Christmas dinner. But now by statute, we can't do it that way. It's all changed. So there's gonna be, just like the Board of Health has, every year there's gonna be an annual meeting where they'll have a vote that says this is who's gonna be on it.
Right.
But this is the first year we're doing it. So it's kind of a fluxing thing, an fluid thing. But what we need to decide on between the board here is who is gonna be our representative to the advisory board, and the advisory board simply chooses the members of the executive board. If that isn't government double talk, I don't know what is. So this person's only responsibility is to go and vote on which 2 trustees from all the townships is gonna sit on the EMA board. And typically, those 2 trustees are nominated by the township themselves, the
Right.
Township Association meeting.
Yep.
And these are 2 people doing it.
Right. All right, so I'd make the motion that we gotta vote on it, that Marty does it.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
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 That was real quick. Thanks, Marty.
Okay, employee appreciation dinner. We need to pick a date. It's gonna be we already approved this to do this. We approved the funding for this back in January, but we need to pick a date. Either the 6th of December or the 20th of December. I would like to pick the 6th of December.
I will
Santa
do
is
the
gonna be very
6th.
busy for the year.
Yeah, Santa's gonna be real busy at the end of the month. What do you think,
6
Chris?
is fine with me.
All right.
Laura, does that work for you?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep, the 6th it is.
all right, so we have a motion for the 6th for the holiday dinner?
Yep, second.
All those, you have to say that.
Yeah, well, you're taking my job. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right.
Okay. All right, more good news. Any other new business? I'm sorry, I'm just taking over. Any other new business? All right, old business. Pole light on Technology Lane. After 9 months, I finally got a response.
Thought it was longer than
I
that.
finally got a red mine, Ben. It seems like it's been a long time. We are gonna get a pole light put up at the intersection at 162 and Technology. The cost for the installation is a whopping $0.
$0. I like
$0,
that.
0 cents. The only fee will be the monthly service charge to have electricity and to run the actual light. So if you guys are okay with that, it'll be just like the other lights we have in the township. If you guys are okay with that, I will give them the authorization to go ahead and start.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one.
Do we need a motion for this, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Will it be promised, I guess, that it won't be shining in my house?
Well, I talked to you about that when I stopped over to visit you. I thought about that. I actually did, because you're right across from it.
And I have no curtains, so I like the darkness.
Yeah, no, we've been getting complaints from the neighbors.
Yeah, I know. I saw you.
It's Mike.
Let me talk to the engineer there and see what they can do. I don't know how big of a spread pattern it is. I just don't know. I'm a mechanical, not an electrical engineer. So I have to talk to the Sparkies and see how that works.
Thank you.
All right?
The light goes down.
Well, but you are gonna have some radiation. I don't think it's gonna be far enough to bother you. I really don't. I'm guessing if you don't have a problem with the fire trucks and ambulances coming out at 3 o'clock in the morning, you probably won't have problems with this either. But let me make sure, okay? All right.
Good question, though.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Actually, I actually did think about that. Okay.
Wait,
We're not
please
motioning on that
motion.
one.
Oh.
We're gonna, I mean, we're gonna wait to see. on the-
No, we're gonna do the light, we just have to figure out how we're gonna do it so it doesn't intrude.
We better make the motion to do it. I'll motion to install the light pole. Or the
I'll
light with the
second.
Zero installation costs. and
Yep, I like 0. All those in favor, aye?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, all right.
All right,
Good job on that, Marty.
I've got one more, and this is the bad news. Joe,
Yes, sir, I already know.
I'm really sorry.
Yes, Mayor Copa, Mayor Martin.
I don't know how to break this to everybody else in here, but at our Jack-o'-lantern jamboree, we will not have a bounce house, and Joe will not be driving people around on a hayride. I talked to our insurance company, and we could do it, but for a 2-hour liability rider, it was gonna be a little over $1,000. Didn't think that was a good way to spend the township's money.
Nope.
So I would move that we strike those 2 items from our Jack-o'-lantern jamboree.
Yeah, I'll second that. I don't like it, but I get it. And it's responsible, so.
All right. Okay, other than that, everything's still going full bore. We have, we actually had one of our residents offer to donate some candy. They're gonna come up and help pass out as well. If anybody else wants to help by participating in that fashion, that's fine. We've got 3 or 4 businesses already lined up that are donating. We've got GFS that is, we've got a whole bunch of people that are donating food and drinks and beverages. It should be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff there. For those of you who haven't been to the meetings and know this, it is going to be on Saturday, October 28th, from noon to 2 p.m. It will be here at the fire station. There will be tours of the fire station conducted as well. We're going to have EMA here with their mobile command center trailer. We're going to have the parks here, Medina County Parks here with a little booth and table set up. We're gonna have fire trucks and such out, right? For people to get in, drive around, free, no charge? No? Okay. But they'll be able to come up and see the vehicles. We are gonna have therapy dogs here, just to kind of wander and hang out. And we will have a demonstration with a canine search and rescue dog team as well. So, should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun.
Yep. Chris, you got any old business?
Yes.
Oh, good thing I asked.
2 quick things. If you guys recall, back in March, we signed an agreement with Mr. Kittles.
Yeah.
Enforcing him to, or him agreeing to demolish his old house within 30 days of moving into the new one. He's offered the fire department to train at the old house before it's demolished. And I met with him and Chief Kavanaugh, and they've committed to completing their training by October 20th. So I would just like to make a motion to amend this agreement to make the date of compliance for demolishing to November 19th, which is 30 days following the October 20th date.
So we're moving it so the firefighters can train?
Correct.
Yep.
I'd second the motion.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you for letting the firefighters do that. That's awesome.
Send me a copy of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Kristen.
And then lastly, 2 quick updates on the Palker Road issue. The total costs were $18,262.40 poured by the township. Those have been sent to the auditor for addition to their tax bill. It will be payable next year in the 2024 tax bill. And that was certified by the auditor December 20th. We are also going to move forward with an injunction. I spoke with the prosecutor's office, and he requested that we get a little bit more information, new information, not just the stuff that happened before May. So I've been working with Kathy to get some additional pictures and timeline to provide to him, so that's it.
Okay.
Good.
Anything else? Marty, Laura?
I'm good here.
All right.
for me?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, pay the
Oh, I'm
warrants.
sorry, what?
Pay the warrants.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, just a point of clarification, you mentioned Thursday's meeting is at 6, the website says 7, is it 6 or 7?
Oh, Chris?
I think it's 6 we made that. Is Karen here?
Sherry might have put that on 7, because that's what all our meetings are. I will text her before we leave, never update that. Knowing
So
Sherry,
is it
it'll
6
be,
for sure?
it is 6 o'clock.
I'll double check.
Where's Karen?
Yeah,
6 or 7,
I
you know?
have no idea. I was out of.
Oh, you were out of the-
vacation.
yeah.
I did not set that up.
Let me see if I can look it up on my email.
Okay.
You sent the notice to the Gazette already, then before you left.
7 is what I put in my calendar.
7?
7 is what I put in my
Oh, did I?
I believe so.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
That was a
See what
fun
happens when you go on
vacation.
vacation?
I had it 7, or I just changed it to 6, because that's what you guys said.
Chris, also that's gonna go on the 23 tax bill.
Correct, payable and payable in 24.
So is it, well, Karen's checking.
Yeah, I got it on.
Who sent the ad to the Gazette? Did you? do
Karen
that?
did.
Karen did.
Oh, Karen, okay.
As we're just trying to confirm that.
It says 7 PM.
Yeah.
The Lafayette
I
Township Board
apologize.
of Trustees gives notice that a public hearing will be held October 5th at 7 PM.
Most of the zoning ones are at 6, that's
Yeah.
why. I apologize.
So it is 7
7
p.m.
o'clock.
Thank you.
All right. Move to adjourn and pay the warrants.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Guys, thank you all for coming,
8:52.
appreciate it.